Hi guys, and today we're working on some sugar skulls, and I'm only going to be doing my accent nails, and I'm going to be making decals. I'll explain the mess right now, but like I said, I'm going to be doing decals on my accent nails. I always like to make a few decals in case I mess up, either placement or just to have some extras on hand. Now, I recommend that you do this ahead of time, maybe a day or two if you have time. Just don't top coat it. Just get the decals made, color them in, and wait until you're going to place them to put your top coat. So anyhow, now to explain this mess here. This is Apipila plate P40, and as many of you may know, I love sugar skulls, so I'm going to be using this one right here. But as you can see, this sugar skull is pretty big for my accent nail. I mean, it would have been perfect for my thumb, but like I said, I'm working on this one right here. So we're going to shrink the image. Now there's two different ways you can shrink your image, and here you can see it's not that significant of a difference, but it does make a difference. You can see the difference in size right there. So see, it would fit that accent nail pretty well. Still maybe a little tad bigger than what I'd like, but we can work on that right now. So let me show you. There's this method right here where you can pinch your stamper head and then roll it, or hold the plate in the air like this and then just kind of pop it like that and then release it. Now if you're like me, you're a heavy-handed person, like I guess that's the only way I can explain it. I'm pretty brash with my movements and with pinching, and so this is some errors that I made right before I started filming, because I wanted to show you guys that maybe if you're like me. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get my... So see, here's where I was pinching it, and here's my first attempt, second attempt, third, fourth, fifth, and I got better on my last one, but as you can see, when I released it, it became like an oblong, weird shaped sugar skull, and I don't want that. So as you can see, sorry guys, as you can see, let me just shut this door. I don't like to shush my dogs because, I mean, they're working. They're doing what they should be doing. But anyhow, so now I remember the way I was doing it before. I'm getting a stamper head holder, and this was the smaller size stamper heads, the original stamper heads that came out. So they are smaller compared to the XL. Not to be confused with the, the jumbo or the double XL. So it's a happy medium. So what you're going to go ahead and do is grab your stamper head, and be careful, don't stab it with your nail, but you're going to just kind of work it into that stamper head. And what that's going to do, it's going to create like a bulbous top. If I can get it. This one's still kind of new, so it's a little firmer than I would like, but I think it's important to show you this on camera so that way you can kind of get an idea. Alright, so it's going to pinch that stamper head for you. Kind of. Just make sure you get it in there. So it doesn't matter if it's not all in there. Try to though, because it's going to help. So there we go. So now we kind of want to work a little fast so we don't lose that suction, or see, it's kind of trying to get out of there. Some stamper heads work better than others, so just try to work quickly. I'm using Handy Black. I got my plastic scraper, my cotton claw for cleanup. So we just want to go ahead and apply that on there. Okay, rolling motion. Okay, there it is. Now release it. Before it dries on you, release it. There you go. So you can see, again, there is a significant difference in size. It might not seem like it, but it is big difference. So I'm going to go ahead and just work on, so see, it would look pretty good. It's a little bit more crooked than I would like, but you get the idea. So here's the other one that I did. So I'm going to make a few of them. I'm thinking I only need 2, but I'm going to make maybe 4 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that process. So I ran out of, I just thought I'd show you guys this because it's so stupid. I ran out of lint roller paper. And so I went to the Dollar Tree the other day, and I was going to buy some more, and I forgot. But I did buy this 6-pack of tape. And so what I did was I just wrapped some tape around this bad boy. And yeah, now I'm able to use this as a cleaner. And surprisingly, it actually works better than the lint roller. The lint roller sometimes doesn't seem to get like the little fuzzies, like especially these right here. So let's see. It's doing a pretty good job. But yeah, and if you're ever in a pinch, just kind of, you know, do with what you got. So yeah, here we have the shrunken images. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure you clean off any excess that you might have. You can use like a fine brush, or just any regular brush that you might have. A lot of people like using a dotting tool, which I don't like because my stampers are squishy firm, and you could tear into that, so you want to be really careful. I also like to use just regular polish remover, non-acetone. So let's go ahead and do that now while we have the camera rolling. Okay, and the purpose of doing this is so that way when you do apply your clear polish for your decal, you don't pick up any of that excess. You have a nice crisp image. And so see, you could just get that a nice little clean. Don't worry if you see little drops of polish, they'll dry up. I mean of remover, it dries up. So there's that one. I mean, it might not seem like much, but it does make a difference. Just kind of pick up that excess amount. I mean, you're going through the trouble of making the decals, you might as well make sure it looks really good. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. At this point, I'm gonna just grab my colors. So I'm still kind of brainstorming on that. So I'll just go ahead and finish doing this and we will continue on. Okay guys, so it's time to color in the decal. I just stamped it. I haven't done anything else, so I'm just going to use this ring palette that I have. I'm working with 3 colors. I have Kleancolor White, Kleancolor Pastel Orange, and Home Sweet House Music by Glaze. So I'm going to use the white first. I'm using a dotting tool. Just make sure that you don't have any little fuzzy cotton or anything, because it can I guess throw off your coloring. Alright, so the white I'm going to use on the teeth as well as the outer part of the eye. And you can use acrylic paint as well. I'm just using polish just because that's what I have on hand right now. Okay, so here comes the tedious part. And you just kind of want to apply liberally. Don't worry about getting it right the first time. You can always go back and make it more opaque. I don't know how you pronounce that. Okay. So there's the teeth. You can also use a really fine brush. And as you can see, like, my hands are really shaky, so we just want to make sure that we're just a little bit careful. And that's what's the good part about making extra decals. In case you mess up, at least you have a backup. Alrighty, so hopefully that comes out alright. And like I said, you want to give yourself some time. If you work on this last minute, you will be kind of in a rush. So you want to be patient. Decals do take me a while though. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do the outer part of the eye, but it's easier for me to do the color inside first, so that way if I mess up, it won't run into the bottom. So I want to go with the lighter color, so let's go with the pastel orange, which more looks like a salmon color to me. Doesn't really look pastel. That's fine. Okay. And so just get the center of the eye. I should have done that another color, but oh well. There's one eye. I mean, if I could have picked the most difficult image to decal, this one would have probably be it. Okay. And then just kind of, while I have this color, I'm just going to try to fill in some other areas just so I don't waste it. Where else? Let's see. There's some flowers up here. Just do those. And I am resting my forearm on the table just to kind of keep my hand from shaking so much. Probably doesn't help if you have coffee right before you start filming, but well, it's real life. Okay, so there it is. So if you made multiple and you want to keep the design or the colors the same, bring your other ones and kind of try to follow what you're doing. But variety is the spice of life, so I'm gonna just try to make them a little different. And here's the China Glaze, which is more of a muted neon orange. And then on that one we can just apply there. So yeah, guys, I'm sure this is going to become boring for you to keep watching, so I will continue this, and hopefully it goes good. Okay guys, so here are the decals fully colored in. It took me about 25 minutes to do 3. So so yeah, just wanted to show you that. I guess some pointers that I would have is you don't want to scrape the color on, you kind of want to blot it on. And then once the color dries, like this, how it gets all gummy, don't even try to put additional color on top of that. Make a new little puddle and continue like that. Another tip would be, like, if you have a bigger area to color in. I know some people just like to grab the nail polish brush and just brush it in. I don't like doing that. At that point, I get like a bulb on the tip of the dotting tool, and that works great to just kind of start stacking on color. So yeah, just wanted to show you that. So as I mentioned, I'm working on these in advance, so I'm gonna let them air dry until tomorrow. Then I'll apply the top coat, and then we will continue with the manicure. Hi guys, so today I'm going to work on a gradient. I'm going to be putting a decal on the accent nail. So I've done 2 coats of white on that, and on all the other nails I've done 1 coat of Kleancolor's Pastel Orange. Sorry about the glare. It could work in our favor, so let's see how it goes. So I only did 1 coat of the Pastel Orange because as I'm going to be doing the gradient, I'm just going to be stacking more and more color on there, so there's no need to be opaque or have it to become so I guess thick, since it's, like I said, it's going to go ahead and add on. I went ahead and added liquid latex to around my fingernails, except the accent nail. Now what I did want to share with you is when you put liquid latex, and if you kind of touch the liquid latex against each other, it sticks, and then eventually it just kind of tears off. So what I like to do is I like to get a small little dapping dish or whatever of baby powder, or if you don't have any on hand, cornstarch, flour, even a little bit of powdered makeup could work if you have like a broken powder and you don't use it. So I just go ahead and apply it to the edges, and you don't have to apply it to both sides, because watch, you'll see right now. And just a small thin layer. See, it won't stick anymore because you've created that, I guess, that non-stick surface. So you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to do it to all the nails. I just do it to a couple of the edges there, and just blow off any excess, so you won't have any issues with that. But yeah, I do find that to be very helpful. And again, just kind of just put it on some of the edges, preferably where the latex will meet the other finger. Like the thumb, it's not necessary, nor the pinky, but whatever. And then you can just blow off any excess, and then that's pretty much it. Let me just get a small little brush that I have, just to kind of clean up my nails a bit. Take off any excess powder off, and clean off the area where I'm going to be doing the gradient. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Now moving on to the gradient, just using a OCD. I have my favorite porous kitchen sponge. I have, again, the Kleancolor Pastel Orange, and I have this Home Sweet House Music by China Glaze. I've decided to do this one or do the China Glaze, I'm sorry, the Kleancolor as the base because it is more opaque. This one I'm going to need a couple layers so I can build up the color. So let's go ahead and get started. And if you are familiar with the gradient, you can just go ahead and skip this part, but I find that so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the color here. I guess I'm going to do the light on the bottom and the dark on the top, so I need to start this way. I think 3 passes is good. It produces a nice, really nice color, but we are going to stamp over it, so no need to be too picky. And like this, and as I've mentioned before, you just kind of want to create that separation at first. We will start blending on the second and third pass. So we're just kind of trying to establish the color pattern right now. Getting it on the sponge. And like I said, I'm going to want the lighter color on the top and the darker color on the bottom. And like I said, don't worry, we're going to build up on that color. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and continue doing this. I'll do one more so you can see. Don't forget where you have the color on the sponge because you don't want to start mixing up your colors. And we're not really dancing the sponge around yet, we're just kind of placing the color down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that. Okay, so here's the second pass. You can clearly see now there is a nice blending of the color, but here is the final pass. So you will see how I'm going to go ahead and just start incorporating both colors together. So we want to just kind of be a little bit more generous with the polish. And like I said, this top color is a little bit more thinner, so I need to apply a little bit more. And then I slowly start bringing it down towards the pastel orange so they can meet. With the sponge, again, don't forget what color you're using on what side. You want to start dancing it a little bit up and down just to kind of create that blend on the sponge. And then working it onto the nail, rocking your nail back and forth also helps nicely, and you can see we've blended it nicely. Don't be I guess minimal. You want to, this is your last pass, so go ahead and make it a good one. So if you want to apply more, go ahead. And here we go again. So we just want to dance it up and down a bit. Okay. That's pretty much it. Don't forget to keep rocking your finger back and forth so you can get even coverage. I used to like to do a nude color or a white on the bottom because for me it kind of seemed to help make the color stand out. But you know, I kind of got tired of doing that, especially during cleanup, because that white or the nude would kind of peek underneath. So now I just start stacking the color, and I get a pretty nice result like that too. So it's just one less color that I have to apply. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and continue doing this, and then I'm going to apply clear coat after that so I can get a nice smooth stamping surface. I'm going to leave the latex behind though, so it can go ahead and make my cleanup of my stamping polish easier. So yeah, just keep posted. Okay guys, for stamping I'm using this Sugar Bubbles plate number 18, and I'm going to be using this image right here, flowery image. Right before I do that though, I do want to let you know that on my decals that I made, that I colored in the day before, I've already applied a really nice thick layer of top coat, and I prefer this one. This is Sally Hansen Hard as Nails. Costs about $1.89. You can find it at Walmart. It's usually in a small box and it's hanging. This one works really good. So apply a really nice thick layer and just set them aside so they can dry, and then we can start stamping the rest of the nails. So I'm using Handy Black. I have my Fab Your Nails Jumbo Stamper Head in my Bundle Monster holder, my cotton claw, and since this is a brand new plate, I'm going to go ahead and just clean it off. I just wanted to show it to you right now because it's nice and clean. So just go ahead and make sure that you always do that with a new plate. Sometimes there's some oily residue that comes from the manufacturing process, and you can be surprised on how much residue that there is left over. So just going to go ahead and start stamping as I mentioned. And I did apply top coat to the gradient, so it's a nice smooth surface. I don't think it's like 100% dry, but I got to do some things today, so I'm going to try to make this a little quicker than what I usually try to do my nails at. Okay, so I'm just applying polish. And this is just pretty straightforward. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with this. Now, this plate is a little shallow etched. So let's see if it picks up. Yeah, it picked up okay. Not my favorite. So I always want to make sure that I get a really nice pickup. So I'm going to try this again. And this time I'm just going to try scraping at an angle. Sometimes that helps. And since my left hand is my photogenic hand, if I do pick up an image and it's not 100%, it's like maybe 80% nice, I'll stamp it on my dominant hand, since I'm not going to take a photo with it. So just in case you don't want to be wasting too many tries or try to get it 100% your first time. It's a little, like I said, it's a little shallow edged. Okay, that'll do. It's not the best, so I'm going to go ahead and do it on my other hand. Just stamp it down. There we go. Not bad. Not bad, but not great. So, like I said, just keep going until, you know, if you get a really nice image pickup. So I'm going to go ahead and continue stamping the rest of my nails. Okay, so I finished stamping my nails, and by now the decal should be dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and just lightly tap, and they are. And like I mentioned before, I always make extra just in case I mess up. So, like this one looks a little crooked to me, so I'm going to keep that one as a reserve just in case. And let's go ahead and peel one. I'm using a wooden cuticle pusher just because I don't want to tear into my stamper heads. And then I slowly start lifting from the edges. I haven't applied anything to the white polish on my base because I want to see how these decals are. If they seem to be a little bit brittle, then I may have to add a thin layer of top coat just so it can stick. But before we do that, let's see how manageable they are. Okay, grab some tweezers. And since it's still kind of flexible, you want to slowly pull it up. If not, it'll distort the image. So that looks pretty neat. Looks like it came out really nice. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, this is totally optional. You don't have to do this, but it's going to make your life a bit easier. Grab some scissors, and on an image like this, you can just cut off the excess decal. Oops. So that's less air bubble, less folding or flattening that you have to worry about. Oh, sorry guys. All right. And so yeah, you don't have to do a really good job, don't worry. I mean, just try to get most of the edges off. And in case you did happen to color a little bit outside of the line, that'll also take care of that. Be careful when cutting. Just try to make sure that you get the excess and not the image. That's pretty good. And okay. And then I got a little bit of a piece here. So that came out really nice. I'm actually impressed. It's a little bit flexible, so I should be okay. I'm being really picky at this point, so I see some more that I have to trim off. I did come out of the line just slightly when I colored in, so just want to make sure it's perfect, because I don't plan on doing my nails for another couple days, so I just want to make sure it's just right. Alright. Make sure you have a nicely lit area because your mind or eyes can play tricks on you. Okay, so I just kind of want to see if I can get this centered. Sorry guys, I know I'm probably not in camera right now. Gosh. It is hard sometimes to kind of make sure you get it just right, especially when your hands are a little shaky. Okay. So I've went ahead and placed it down. At this point I haven't pressed it, so I can still kind of move it around. I don't give myself too much give here. Alright, hopefully that's good. So the decal itself is somewhat sticky, so it's going to go ahead and adhere. So at this point you just kind of want to massage it down a bit. Hopefully it comes out centered. Okay, that's pretty much it. It's a little, I mean, for me it looks a little crooked, but who knows. There we go. So if it did come out a little crooked, don't worry. You can always do some excess cleanup, and then it kind of like makes like an illusion that it's more to the left or more to the right when you take off a little bit of the excess from the edges. And it's really nice to leave some up on the top and on the bottom and on the sides if possible. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna go ahead and, like I said, I'm gonna just play around a little bit with it because, like I said, to me I went a little bit too much to the left. And I'm just gonna go ahead and clean off the excess, and then we're going to apply top coat. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what I meant about like playing with the illusion. So I did take off extra from here from the edge, so it kind of makes the image look centered. Another thing I did forget to mention is, even though you trimmed off the excess of the decal, you always want to make sure you kind of try to press all the edges in, because when you do run that acetone with your brush along the edges, it can very well seep underneath and mess up that image. It's not that big of a deal because you did make extras just in case, but again, you got to work on the base. Again, you got to let it dry. It's just going to take forever. So try to get it, try to get it nice and flat before you start any cleanup, because again, acetone will be the enemy, and it will kind of like slide right underneath there and distort the image. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the other decal, and then we will do the final cleanups and top coats. Okay guys, so here's the finished product. I added a whole bunch of avocado oil. So what I usually do is I let that sit for a little bit, then I wash my hands, and then I'll take my photos. But yeah, it came out really nice. I did want to be a little extra, so I did add some white along the flowers just to kind of make it pop a little bit. And what I did before I used actual polish, I just grabbed some acrylic white paint, and I just did one little dot on my pinky just to see if I would like the way it looked, and I did. In the event I wouldn't have liked it with the acrylic paint, it's great because all you have to do is just let it blow on it, let it dry, and grab a wet paper towel, and you can just wipe it off. But yeah, I really like the way it turned out, so I hope you guys like it, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.